Good morning, students. How are you? Students, in the previous lesson, we learned about 6 physical divisions of India. India is divided into 6 physical divisions. They are Northern Mountains, Northern Plains, Great Indian Desert, Peninsular Plateau, Coastal Plains, and Islands. In this lesson, today I am going to teach you third lesson. The title of the third lesson is The Northern Mountains and the Northern Plains. In this lesson, we will study about the Northern Mountains and the Northern Plains of India. This is the map of Northern Mountains and the Northern Plains. In this map, the brown color part is Northern Mountains, and below the brown part you can see here green color portion. This is Northern Plains. Northern Plains. The brown color portion is Northern Mountains. So in this third lesson we will study about the Northern Mountains and the Northern Plains of India. The Northern Mountains stretch across the northern boundary of India. They include the Himalayas, which are the highest mountains in the world, and some hill ranges in the northeast. The Himalayas stretch in a long curve from Jammu and Kashmir in the west. This is the Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. This is in the east, from Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. The Himalayas stretch in a long curve from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. This is in the curved shape from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. Their east-west extent is about 2400 kilometers, and width varies from about 500 kilometers in the west to about 200 kilometers in the east. They form a natural boundary between India and China. Himalayas form a natural boundary between India and China. Hill ranges. The hill ranges in the northeast. Now this is the northeast. The hill ranges in the northeast include the Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, Naga and Mizo hills. These hill ranges are not very high and are covered with thick forests. The hill ranges in the northeast. Many Indian states are a part of the North Mountain region. These states are Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, West Bengal, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and other northeastern states. Many Indian states are a part of the Northern Mountain region. The Himalayas can be divided into 3 parallel mountain ranges. You can see here Himalayas are divided into 3 parallel mountain ranges. Upper range is Greater Himalayas. These are also known as Himadri range. This part is also upper part is also known as Himadri range. The middle one Himachal range. Himachal range also known as the middle or the lesser Himalayas. This is the lesser Himalayas or Himachal range. There are three parallel mountain ranges in the Himalayas. The upper one, greater Himalayas, are known as Himadri range. In the middle part, lesser Himalayas are known as Himachal range, and the lower Himalayas are known as Shivalik range. There are three parallel mountain ranges in the Himalayas: Himadri range, Himachal range, and Shivalik range. Now we will learn about the greater Himalayas or Himadri range. This is greater Himalayas, also known as Himadri range. The Himadri is the northernmost range. It is the highest range in the Himalayas with an average height of over 6,000 meters. The mountains here are always covered in snow. In some places, huge masses of ice called glaciers are found. Some of these move down the mountain slopes. When these glaciers reach warmer regions, they melt and form rivers. The Himadri region receives heavy rainfall. Some of the highest mountain peaks, such as Mount Kanchenjunga and Mount Annapurna, are found here. As it is very cold here throughout the year, it is very difficult for people and animals to live in this region. Cultivation is not possible in this mountainous region. This is a Mount Kanchenjunga. This is located in Himadri region in Himalayas, Greater Himalayas. This is the picture of Mount Kanchenjunga. Next range is the Himachal range. There are three parallel mountain ranges in the Himalayas. First one, Himadri range, and second one, Himachal range. The Himachal range is found between the Himadri and the Shivalik ranges. The mountains are not as high as those in the Himadri range. The Himachal range has some beautiful valleys, such as the valleys of Kashmir, Kulu, and Kangra. Beautiful hill stations like Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Almora, and Darjeeling are located in this region. During the summer, people love to visit these hill stations to escape the heat of the plains. Rohtang Pass in Himachal Pradesh is an important mountain pass located in this region. This is the Rohtang Pass located in Himachal range. This Rohtang Pass in Himachal Pradesh is an important mountain pass located in this Himachal range. A tourist vehicle navigating the Rohtang Pass. This is located in Himachal range in Himachal Pradesh. It is an important mountain. It is an important mountain pass located in this Himachal range. The Himachal range has thick forests consisting of pine, oak, deodar, and fir trees. The climate in this region is suitable for cultivation. The winter months are cold while the summer months are cool and pleasant. The lower slopes of these ranges have orchards, and in the east we find tea plantations. This is about Himachal range. The Himachal range. Next range is the Shivalik range. Third range is Shivalik range. The Shivalik forms the southernmost and the lower range of the Himalayas. It is made up of hills rather than mountains. The slopes are covered with thick forests and a variety of wildlife is found here. Much of the land is used for growing crops such as rice, potatoes, and maize. The slopes of these hills are used for terrace farming, which is a form of farming done by building a series of steps in the slopes of hills for growing crops. Cattle rearing is also common here. This is the picture of terrace farming on hill slopes in Uttarakhand. The region to the south of Shivalik range is called the Terai. It is a flat, marshy area where crops such as rice, wheat, and sugarcane are cultivated. The slopes of hills are used for terrace farming, which is a form of farming done by building a series of steps in the slopes of hills for growing crops. This is terrace farming on hill slopes in Uttarakhand. The importance of the Himalayas. This is the brown portion is mountainous range, northern mountains. This brown portion is northern mountains. The importance of the Himalayas. There are 3 ranges in the Himalayas. First one Himadri range, second one Himachal range, and third one Shivalik range. The importance of the Himalayas. The Himalayas act as a natural boundary and have always protected India from foreign invasions. They prevent the cold biting winds coming from northern Asia from entering India. They also stop the rain bearing monsoon winds from leaving India, resulting in heavy rainfall over the country. The forests in the Himalayas provide us with valuable forest products such as timber, medicines, resin, honey, and so on. Many animals such as the snow leopard, tiger, rhinoceros, and wild yak are found here. The melting snow of the Himalayan glaciers provides water to our rivers throughout the year. This is the importance of the Himalayas. Next we will study about the northern plains. Northern plains. In this map you can see green portion. The green portion is northern plains. You can see in this map the green portion is northern plains. The northern plains are located to the south of the Himalayas. They extend from Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. The east-west extent of the plains is about 2,400 kilometers and they are about 150 to 300 kilometers wide. They cover the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and parts of Assam. The northern plains are flat level land. Many rivers which originate in the Himalayas flow through these plains. Since these rivers begin in the Himalayas, they are perennial rivers and have water throughout the year. These rivers thus make the plains rich and fertile. A wide variety of crops grow here. An area watered by a river and its tributaries is called a basin. The northern plains can be divided into three river basins. The Ganga basin in the center, the Brahmaputra basin in the east, and the Satluj basin in the west. In the northern plains, the middle, the center, the Ganga basin is in the center, the Brahmaputra basin in the east, Brahmaputra basin, and the west, Satluj basin. In the center, Ganga basin. The Ganga basin. The river Ganga is sacred to the Hindus. It has its source in the Gangotri glacier high up in the Himalayas and flows through the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. The Ganga flows very swiftly down the mountains and enters the plains at Haridwar. As it flows down the plains, it is joined by its tributaries. This is the Ganga basin. This is the Ganga river. The Ganga flows very swiftly down the mountains and enters the plains at Haridwar. As it flows down the plains, it is joined by its tributaries. The Yamuna is the most important tributary of the Ganga and joins it at Allahabad. This meeting point of the two rivers is called the Sangam. Once in every 12 years, thousands of pilgrims gather here to celebrate the Kumbh Mela. The Sangam at Allahabad. Pilgrims bathing in the river. Sangam means this meeting point of two rivers is called the Sangam. Once in every 12 years, thousands of pilgrims gather here to celebrate the Kumbh Mela. The eastern part of the plain receives more rainfall than the western part. Most of the rainfall is received during the monsoon, June to September. Crops grow well here as the soil is rich and fertile. The major crops grown in the Ganga basin are rice, wheat, jute, and sugarcane. Water is available in plenty as there are many wells and canals. Ganga Delta. This is the satellite image of the Ganga Delta. The Ganga basin is the most densely populated part of India and is home to millions of people. Many important cities like Rishikesh, Haridwar, Delhi, Agra, Kanpur, Allahabad, Ayodhya, Patna, Varanasi, and Kolkata are located here. In the east lies the Ganga Delta, also known as the Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, formed by the rivers Ganga and Brahmaputra. This is the largest delta in the world. Here, the rivers break up into many small rivers before entering the Bay of Bengal. This is the Ganga Delta. In the east lies the Ganga Delta, also known as the Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, formed by the rivers Ganga and Brahmaputra. This is the largest delta in the world. Here the rivers break up into many small rivers before entering the Bay of Bengal. Next basin is Brahmaputra Basin. Brahmaputra Basin. The northern plains can be divided into three river basins: the Ganga Basin, the Brahmaputra Basin, and the Sutlej Basin. This is the island in the Brahmaputra, in the river Brahmaputra, Majuli, an island in the river Brahmaputra. The Brahmaputra river starts in Tibet. It then flows eastwards and enters India in Arunachal Pradesh. Then it flows westwards through Assam before entering Bangladesh. The Brahmaputra basin receives heavy rainfall brought by the monsoon winds. Sometimes the heavy rainfall floods the river and its surrounding areas, but the silt, fertile soil produced by heavy flooding is excellent for crops like jute and rice, which are grown widely in this area. Next basin is the Sutlej Basin. This is the Indira Gandhi Canal. The Indira Gandhi Canal. The river Sutlej and its tributaries flow through the states of Punjab and Haryana. This region does not receive much rainfall, hence farmers depend on canals, rivers and dams for water. The famous Bakranangal Dam has been built on the Sutlej to provide electricity and water for irrigation. The famous Bakranangal Dam has been built on the Sutlej River to provide electricity and water for irrigation. The Indira Gandhi Canal, which starts from the Sutlej, provides water to the dry areas of Rajasthan. This is the Indira Gandhi Canal. Indira Gandhi Canal provides water to the dry areas of Rajasthan. The main crops grown in this Sutlej basin are wheat, rice, cotton and sugarcane. Some of the important cities in this region are Chandigarh, Jalandhar, Patiala, Ludhiana, Ambala and Amritsar. These are the some important cities in this Sutlej basin. The importance of the northern plains. The importance of the northern plains. The soil of the northern plains is very good for growing crops. Unlike the Himalayas, the plains are very cold, not very cold. Unlike the Himalayas, the plains are not very cold and thus people have settled here in large numbers. The soil of the northern plains is very good for growing crops. Many of the earliest cities such as Patna, Kolkata, Varanasi and Delhi have grown on the banks of the rivers here. As the land is flat here, there exists a good network of roads and railways. This helps in transporting the food produced here to other parts of the country. Let's recall. The northern mountains stretch across the northern boundary of India. They include the Himalayas and the northeastern hill ranges. The Himalayas are made up of three ranges: Himadri, the greater Himalayas; Himachal, the middle or lesser Himalayas; and Shivalik, the lower Himalayas. The northern plains are located to the south of the Himalayas. The northern plains consists of the Ganga basin, the Brahmaputra basin, and the Satluj basin. Definition of the range. A row of the mountains or hills known as range. Glacier. The definition of the glacier. A large mass of ice that moves very slowly down a mountain valley. Perennial. A river that flows at all times of the year is known as perennial river. Basin. The definition of the basin is a large flat region where small rivers join a large one. The definition of the basin is a large flat region where small rivers join a large one. Tributary. The definition of the tributary is a river or stream that flows into a larger river or lake. The definition of the delta. Delta means a piece of land shaped like a triangle where a river branches into smaller parts before entering the sea. These are the some definitions of some important words. This is the